Since the early days of gaming, the video game sidekick has been an essential character for guiding players, providing alternative experiences, and enhancing games. Now it's time for these sidekicks to step out into the spotlight and get a game of their own. Check out 10 awesome sidekicks that deserve their own game, but before you do that, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. Number 10. Waluigi. The character of Wario was created as an ultimate alter ego of Mario, and it was only a matter of time before Luigi got an alter ego of his own. When Wario needed an evil partner for tennis, this is when Waluigi was created. Taller and skinnier than Luigi, Waluigi first debuted in the 2000 release of Mario Tennis. He then went on to show his sporting skills through Mario versions of soccer, golf, baseball, and kart racing. His character is now a regular part of the Mario world, and players often expect him to be included with games. Wario has had his own share of game titles, including the WarioWare series. It's time that Waluigi got a chance to shine in his own game. Waluigi could use his sports expertise to create a fun minigame adventure featuring all types of sporting games. This includes mini-golf, sport challenges, and carnival-style games in the form of sports. Waluigi has been a very comedic character that isn't the smartest of the bunch. It would add to many of the spin-off games that include titles like Luigi's Mansion, Super Princess Peach, and Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Number 9. GARRUS VAKARIAN. The Mass Effect series has spent years developing characters, adding depth to stories, and providing players with a deep experience. Among all of the characters in the game, one of them that stood out was GARRUS VAKARIAN. The alien creature is a key ally to players, features a dry sense of humor, and is crucial in solving a number of missions in the game. As a side character, GARRUS often steals the show and has the detective skills to go on missions. GARRUS could star in his own game that serves as a prequel or side mission to the regular series. His investigative skills could mix with his action skills to create a fun twist on the Mass Effect series. GARRUS is known as a Turian creature from the planet Palaven. It'd be interesting to see a new game set on his home planet. All of the Turian creatures could create some great battle scenes and interesting moments. Players can get a glimpse of how this game would look by playing the Palaven Moon multiplayer. Number 8. Sheik. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time presented a lot of new elements for the game franchise. One of the biggest mysteries presented in the game was the character of Sheik. Towards the end of the game, it was revealed that Sheik was actually Princess Zelda. The twist was great, and left a lot of options for the character in future games. Instead of just using Link all the time, it'd be great to go on an adventure with Zelda transformed into the skilled Sheik. The closest that Sheik ever came to her own game was the Wii U release of Hyrule Warriors. There's a lot of untold stories to come from Ocarina of Time. Fans would flock to a side story exclusively involving Sheik and her ninja adventures as she escapes Ganondorf. The game can serve as a stealth story with elements that are a little bit different from the traditional Zelda game. For now, players can see how skilled Sheik is by playing one of the many versions of Super Smash Bros. She's been a playable character since Super Smash Bros. Melee. Number 7. Victor Sully Sullivan. Some of the best sidekick characters featured in video games are the mentor characters that guide players along and feature an emotional core to the adventures. Enter Victor Sullivan. Simply known as Sully, the Uncharted sidekick provides valuable advice and guidance to the adventures that Nathan Drake goes on. Sully is a key component of several cutscenes and is a huge motivation for a lot of the levels and adventures. In Uncharted 3, fans even dealt with a heartbreaking moment when Sully was presumed dead, only to later realize that it was just a hallucination. Through multiple Uncharted games, players have learned about Sully's past in the military and on various excursions. This sets up the perfect opportunity to make a spin-off game featuring a younger version of Sully. The game would allow you to play as the hero, go on military-style missions, and play the Uncharted games in a completely different timeline than the current games have. A multiplayer Uncharted adventure could also team up Sully and Nathan Drake together. Sully could lead the way in Drake's early days of exploration as Sully truly gets hands-on for the missions together. Chloe's already getting her own DLC content, so it's about time that Sully got his. Number 6. Meta Knight. Besides Mario, one of Nintendo's more successful franchises is Kirby. Sure, it's fun to play as the big pink character that sucks in air, but any true Kirby fan knows that Meta Knight is where all the action takes place. Meta Knight is essentially a blue version of Kirby that wears armor and wields a giant sword. Why blow bubbles when you can slice and dice with Meta Knight's speed and power? Meta Knight has been around the Kirby franchise since the 1990s. He's often a playable character in various adventures, and his skills have also been adapted for the Wii U version of Super Smash Bros. Meta Knight's controls and character would make a great game for a console like the Nintendo 3DS. He could deliver a fun side-scrolling action-adventure, or even dive into a 3D world similar to games like Super Mario 64. Meta Knight originally started out as a villain, so it would be fun to explore his origins and how he eventually joined the heroic side of the Kirby universe. Number 5. Tails. Tails is as loyal as they come. Making his debut in 1992, Tails has been by Sonic's side ever since. He has the speed of Sonic with the additional ability to fly when needed. Tails has appeared in countless Sonic video games, and aside from a few rare Game Gear titles, Tails has never had his own true adventure. He's kinda like Sega's version of Nintendo's Luigi. The only main difference is that Luigi's enjoyed his own spin-off games, while Tails has been left in Sonic's literal dust. It must be a kick in the gut too, because Knuckles and Shadow the Hedgehog have both gotten their own game releases. So much for loyalty. A Tails adventure would be simple. Stick to the traditional Sonic format, add in game flying elements, and give Tails a few new characters with similar abilities. In a Tails game, players could go on a mission to save Sonic and help rescue the kingdom. Tails would also make a great character for some app games. A Tails app would be a simple flying adventure or some type of puzzle game similar to Candy Crush. Number 4. Mr. Torgue. One of the more interesting and entertaining characters in the Borderlands series is the non-playable character known as Mr. Torgue. Mr. Torgue is simple. He loves guns, explosions, and making them as big as possible. Throughout the series, he's had a lot of memorable quotes.
It's time for a loot explosion!
Mr. Torgue was an integral part of the game's marketing campaign. While Mr. Torgue is well known to Borderlands players, a majority of his time is spent off the screen and only through voice controls. It's about time that Mr. Torgue steps off the sidelines and makes a debut in his own game. A DLC quest could put players in control of Mr. Torgue as he uses his own creations to cause a lot of havoc. During the DLC titled Mr. Torgue's Campaign of Carnage, players learn a little about his background and extended family life. Protecting his family by any means possible could be the goal for the character. A game featuring the most destruction could also serve as a fun mission where players must set off as many explosions in the world of Pandora. Number 3. Dog Meat. It's rare to have a game where the main character is a dog, but if there's potential for one, then Dog Meat may be the best option. Dog Meat truly represents man's best friend in the Fallout series, and specifically in Fallout 4. During your journey in the game, Dog Meat becomes an essential ally that can attack foes, sniff out useful items, and guide you along the way. It's easy to become attached to the canine, but many players wish that they could control the German Shepherd. A Dog Meat game could have a lot of similar elements to the Fallout series. It would be better suited as DLC content or an exclusive mobile title. Playing as the dog, players can navigate the life of the dog after its original owner got killed or disappeared. The dog controls could include attacking, sensing danger, and finding ways to survive. Dog Meat could serve as a special bonus game for Fallout, or as its own separate title. It could even lead to an expansion of additional animals in the Fallout world. Imagine being able to control a dog, cat, or even another wild creature like a wolf. An official Dog Meat game could serve as a whole new side franchise for Fallout. Number 2. SHEVA ALOMAR. After the death of Jill Valentine, Resident Evil needed a new female protagonist that could lead the charge against the undead mutants and the Umbrella Corporation. Enter SHEVA ALOMAR. The South African warrior made her debut in Resident Evil 5 and aimed to take out the Umbrella Corporation after her parents were killed and village was destroyed. She was a great character that fought off baddies with an attitude and a chip on her shoulder. SHEVA teamed up with Chris Redfield as the two explored the wasteland and helped fight off evil together. After the release of Resident Evil 5, the series went in a whole new direction, and SHEVA ALOMAR was never seen again. Where did she go? What's she up to now? Resident Evil fans would love to continue the adventures of SHEVA as she continues to avenge her family and fight off the killer zombies. She's great with a gun and deserves another chance to shine in the Resident Evil series. There's always room for more Resident Evil games, and SHEVA ALOMAR can shine once again. Number 1. Team Rocket. Team Rocket may serve more as the enemies than actual sidekicks, but their goofy shenanigans in the Pokemon universe has delegated characters like Jessie and James to sidekick status. While Ash is constantly battling and defeating Team Rocket, there are probably a lot of Pokemon players that would love to play the role of the evil team. The main goal of Team Rocket is to harness the power of the Pokemon to help take over the world. Now that sounds like a fun game. A Team Rocket game could go in many directions. A Pokemon farm simulator can focus on catching Pokemon and keeping them in a zoo-like structure for Team Rocket's uses. You can team up with other Team Rocket fans to see who can have the biggest Pokemon farms and factories. A stealth game can also be made where you play a rogue member of Team Rocket looking to sabotage all their evil plans. Pokemon still has a lot of life left to it, and that can be greatly expanded with an official Team Rocket game. So which sidekick do you want to see in a game the most? Are there any sidekicks that we missed? Let us know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to The Gamer on YouTube so you can stay up to date with all of our awesome videos.